With that, I'm going to turn this over to Brian Kennedy. He is, in addition to being the chairman of the Committee on the Present Danger of China, the former president of the Claremont Institute, one of the most important think tanks in America, and currently the president of the American Strategy Group. He is the author of a forthcoming book on existential threats, which will put him perfectly situated to talk about this one. Brian Kennedy.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everyone, for joining us both here today at Hillsdale College and also those who are watching the live stream. Hillsdale College is a great place, a great institution in America, one of the few places where freedom is defended every day. It's run today by an old friend of mine, Larry Arnn, who 30 years ago, literally, was president of the Claremont Institute and hired me to work with him back then. So I have a long affiliation with Larry and Hillsdale, and it's an outstanding place. And this Kirby Center is run by Matt Spalding, who's also a real champion for freedom here in Washington, D.C. Well, as Frank said, my name is Brian Kennedy. Our purpose with this committee meeting is to explain the threat posed by the People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party to the safety and prosperity of the United States. As we were organizing all this, I was reminded, and Frank mentioned that line about, we will sell them the rope, then talking about the Soviet Union. And as Frank said, today we'll buy the rope for them. But to add a particular point, first we will lend them the money with which to buy the rope, adding a certain kind of madness to our collective suicide. One key area, of course, of all of economic warfare that we're seeing today is the subject of modern finance. The PRC, need I say, has been waging an economic war against the United States for the past 30 years. As President Trump has said, the war was fought and we lost. Much to his credit, he is doing everything in his power to get us back on track when it comes to economic relations. He's doing so against every moneyed interest on Wall Street and in the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, both of whom are enamored with and influenced by the PRC. President Trump has waged a counterattack on what has transpired before now with his America First approach. Whether it is the PRC's unfair trading practices, their theft of intellectual property, or forced technology transfers, the president has staked his presidency on holding the PRC to account. But of course, there is still more to do. The United States has yet to hold the PRC to account when it comes to their defaulted sovereign debt, a debt of over $1 trillion to 20,000 American families in 46 states, and by extension, owed to the American people themselves. We also have the issue we are examining today in this meeting of the committee, the PRC's penetration of U.S. capital markets and the danger it poses to U.S. investors and the economic health and reliability of U.S. capital markets. We've assembled an impressive group of people, all of whom have spent many years examining this issue, understanding the complexity of, and in many ways the simplicity of, why the U.S. capital markets are here for the benefit of the U.S. people. We would not be having this conversation, of course, if we as a people did not suffer a certain kind of intellectual corruption when it comes to our relations with the People's Republic of China. Globalism, which is the dominant ideology in so many ways that governs Washington, presents itself as a kind of all-encompassing good not to be questioned. In this globalist mindset that has captured at least Wall Street, there should be unfettered access to U.S. capital markets by the PRC and its state-owned enterprises. It matters not that they are in competition with U.S. companies seeking capital themselves, or the political implications of having millions of U.S. retirees invested in PRC state-owned enterprises, investing, in effect, in the success of the PRC and the Chinese Communist Party. It would be one thing if the PRC was well advanced in its march toward democratic capitalism, a respect for human rights, and the establishment of the rule of law. Unfortunately, none of these are the case. The PRC presents, as we know, a unique challenge given their determination and the strategic capabilities of the Chinese Communist Party and their ruthless hold over the country. Witness current actions in Hong Kong. It is our sincere hope today with this meeting to bring to light the intersection of global finance and the national security requirements of the United States. We hope this leads to a series of policy recommendations that align with President Trump's America First foreign policy and the ongoing defense of these United States.